I want to talk about online dating with a disability. This is going to be a really interesting and semi-difficult topic for me, but I feel it kind of has to be done because no one likes to talk about it. Um, and part of my podcast is to talk about the things that make us as humans feel uncomfortable. The following is a part of Uchi Productions. All comments expressed are strictly that of Kevin Nunez and his guest. Thank you for your time and enjoy the show. I am Kevin Nunez, the host of the flagship show. Do you know that 1 in 4 Americans are diagnosed with some form of disability? At least according to the CDC. Well, guess what? I am your new disability buddy. On this show, we will discuss how disability, faith, and society always interact with each other, even though no one wants to talk about that. This show is designed to give you more questions than answers. It's designed to help you have a conversation around your dinner table. If you're into that kind of thing, this is the show for you. Laugh, live, and love while you listen or watch this podcast. See you soon. Hello, wonderful people out there in podcast episode of the Purposely Broken World. I'm recording this on October 8th, 2023. You will see this, hear this, depending on where you're watching it, on October 15th, 2023. If you're a sports fan, this is the perfect time of year for you. There is wall-to-wall sports. The baseball playoffs are in full swing. The NFL is in full swing. College football is in full swing. And if you like wrestling, there's always a lot of professional fake wrestling out there as well as hockey, of course. So if you're a sports fan, this is your Christmas season. If you don't like sports, then, kind of sucks for you. I want to start this episode by thanking my first personal guest of the Purposely Broken World who showed up on the last episode, Miss Brandy Rosley. You can catch her episode, of course, here. I'll link it in the show notes, of course. And of course, it's on all podcast platforms where you found this podcast, and it's, of course, on YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. Little housekeeping note. Feel free to leave any comments you wish. If you are on Spotify, you can leave a voice note as well. If you're listening to me on Spotify. Spotify is, of course, our main platform. So you can leave a voice note if you want to leave a voice note. Also, I will always have a question to entice fan activity in the description, especially on Spotify, so feel free to interact with that or leave any comments. You will always find my email, of course, attached to the website as well, so there's plenty of ways to get in contact with the host. Now that the housekeeping is done, now I got the welcome out the way, I want to talk about online dating with a disability. This is going to be a really interesting and semi-difficult topic for me, but I feel it kind of has to be done because no one likes to talk about it. And part of my podcast is to talk about the things that make us as humans feel uncomfortable. So I really wanted to start a conversation by making myself uncomfortable, as I will be, uncomfortable discussing some aspects of my personal life. I did a lot of praying on this episode, as well as one of my best friends enticed me or suggested that I need to talk more about my own personal life and my own personal story. So, with that being said, welcome to the show, and let's talk about my own personal online dating experience. Here we go. So, I hinted in the past couple episodes, if you actually listened or watched, that I started on the online dating, journey because I don't really get out much, but what 36-year-old really kind of does, work and home and bills and all that stuff. So I just kind of wised up and did it. Now, it's kind of funny because I promised myself I'd never ever do it. But one of my pastors reminded me that faith without action is death. You know, Jesus does all the work, but you have to give him that first step. Obviously, singles bars don't really cater to disability. And no girl really wants to approach the guy in a wheelchair in a singles bar. And no offense, but they no longer promote singles bars the way they used to. When you're 36, it's just not necessarily your scene anymore. I have had romantic relationships in the past. I'll probably at some point do a whole other episode just on those past relationships at some point. Not sure when. I want to preface this before I start that this is my own personal journey. This is my own personal reflection. Not every person with a disability should or can date. They must be protected due to the nature of their disability. Dating a person, period, is difficult to say the least in the modern world. So when you have a disability of any kind, you're adding a lot of layers to it, and a lot of individuals, due to the complexity of their disability, need to be protected at all times. The amount of abuse that occurs within our community is astronomical. They get raped several times in their life, and because some individuals cannot voice the name of the attacker, they don't get access to a rape kit. I know that's a very profound statement, but I wanted to, really put that out there before I begin. We need to look out for these individuals. People think, oh, now they're in a group home, and now they're in a nursing home, so they're just safe, or they're just wasted away to die. Either way, it's not the way it happens. There's rampant abuse, physical, sexual, financial, all that occurs because we don't pay our caregivers enough to want them to have them keep their job, and they're tired and overworked, and that's where abuse stems from, in my opinion. Okay, now that the all the warning labels are out of the way, now that I did all the housekeeping stuff, I will now start onto the journey. I am a straight Puerto Rican disabled male. I have cerebral palsy. When I started the online dating, world, I specifically didn't want to research it. I kind of wanted to experience things. I watch a lot of Catfish. I love the TV show Catfish. So I was very, very careful. I only used sites that were notable. I use sites that had a verification process. I did not use a application that geared toward sex or hooking up. I wanted something, at least a real or a connection or something. So with that being said, I did not use Tinder. I did not use a sexual app. I did not use Tinder. I did not use Plenty of Fish, because as soon as I got on Plenty of Fish, it was very much geared towards a sexual environment. So as soon as the profile was deleted, as soon as it was made, it was deleted within 10 minutes, because once I figured out what it was, I deleted it. So Plenty of Fish was gone within 10 minutes, and Tinder, I never even downloaded it. The first one I downloaded was Hinge, because two of my best friends met on Hinge. I'll get to Hinge in a second, but I'll put the link to my two blog posts that I did with Charlie and Maggie in the description. You can check out the two blog posts I did with them late last year. They're an interabled couple. Charlie has cerebral palsy, and Maggie is able-bodied. Their story in the blog post I will link. So I got on Hinge. Hinge was the one I felt, for some reason, the most comfortable with. I liked their prompts. I like the fact that the first thing they do is verify your identity. I like the fact that you have to, you can leave a voice message so people can actually see what your voice sounds like, besides just 6 random pictures. It is currently the only application I still use. It is still active. The other ones, which I'll go into, I deleted rather quickly because, well, I shouldn't say quickly, after a few weeks. But I recommend Hinge. I've had a few matches, but nothing that goes past like a day or so, just because the connection is not there, or honestly, people are just fake. A few things. I always mention my faith in all my apps. Yes, I'm in my wheelchair in all my pictures. I can't hide it. Yes, I am always doing something in my wheelchair, so my pictures are active. I'm well dressed in all my pictures. I'm myself. I don't portray myself as anything other. So I'm very like safe. I put on like various safeguards. I will talk to people who are verified as well. So but no matches. Like I said, I watch a lot of catfish, so it's very easy to spot a fake or someone with, let's say, less than honorable intentions. And it's very easy to spot those and weed them out. Like I said, that's why none of the connections have probably lasted more than a day, and I've had less than like 6 connections in a month, just because I know it's difficult to date a person with a disability. Is it a little disheartening? Yes, I can't deny that. I can't get more than 6 matches, and they've only lasted a day. I won't go into profiles and what I'm looking for or anything like that, because I want to respect those people I have met, quote unquote. But again, I really haven't met anyone because I'm currently, as of October 8th, not talking to a single person. Now that we're at the 10-minute mark, I have to take a pause here and say, if you like my content, you can support my content by subscribing to the link in the bio with the description in the link. There's also PayPal, there's also Cash App, and you can buy my book on Amazon, Confessions from Disability Limbo. All the money goes to me. This is just to help me produce this podcast and other blogs. My blogs come out every Wednesday on the same website. The Advocacy Life podcast and blog is the website. You just put that in Google, Advocacy Life podcast and blog. It'll all go out there. And any help you give me is truly, truly appreciated. So once again, it's PayPal. Once again, it's Cash App. Once again, there's a link to the website itself in the description. And the book is called Confessions from Disability Limbo. All that being said, thank you guys for the support. Now back to the show. But still, be respectful. The other two apps I used were Bumble, the one that was created by a female that gives the female the option to choose the guy. This one I found really emasculating because a guy cannot, begin the interaction. You have to just sit and wait. And this I found a little bit discomforting because you're just kind of swiping back and forth, left, right, without any kind of, feedback on a person one way or the other. They did have this one cool feature where, once or twice a week, they have, a little speed dating thing where you meet a person without seeing their picture for 3 minutes, and you can only text back and forth. And if the vibe is right, then you can just start a match, I guess. I did this a few times where you start a conversation in 3 minutes. This made me kind of a little nervous because I can't see the person, which is actually a good thing because I don't want them to see my disability, right off the bat. So I understand that aspect of it, but you're basically starting a conversation from nothing. So I was trying to be funny. I was trying way too hard off the bat. And I know that definitely came across as awkward from a female perspective. And ultimately, the female, of course, will, choose if you guys match or don't match. Anyway, so I only had, one connection after the speed dating thing, and it was clear that we were not a match when we started talking. After she saw my picture, and that was the end of that. I used Bumble for a month or so, but Bumble it fell flat. The other one I used was OkCupid. I just honestly, I like the name. I don't have any more logical reason to add to that. I just like the name OkCupid. It was fun. I never had any connection on OkCupid whatsoever. Regardless of how many times I changed the picture, regardless of how many times I updated the profile, OkCupid just fell flat. a lot of the girls I saw were from outside the U.S., so that really just kind of fell flat. I did like, however, that they did ask you a lot of questions. So you kind of had to interact and do like a full dating profile before you could actually start swiping. They actually wanted to know a lot about you. Um, I know there's other apps, Christian Mingle, Match.com, eHarmony. Nothing against those apps, but they're really kind of expensive. And those things can add up over time, so I just didn't use those things because I don't have money to spend on someone before I meet them. It was either, okay, pay for a dinner or pay for a dating app to meet them. So it was just, to me, it was kind of productive, especially when most of the dating apps use the same kind of prompts and they use the same kind of algorithms. Once you do some homework, I did eventually, of course, do homework on these apps. Um, after a few weeks or so, I wanted to see, what was wrong. Honestly, I think it came down to just the disability. I know it sounds very shallow. I know it sounds wrong. But I really, really don't think a lot of women want a guy with a disability. It's horrible. I think all they see is the wheelchair, and it's hard to find someone to look past it. Um, I just wish somebody would give me a chance. I don't know how else to say it. I'm curious to see if my other, disability podcasts or disability friends, if they've had better luck. I know Charlie and Maggie are wonderful. They are the sweetest couple in the world. They're getting married in a few weeks. More than enough love for them. I couldn't love them anymore. Um, they are truly magnificent people, and they are truly, truly God-loving people, and they just deserve love, and they are loved by each other. I'm sure they've had their challenges. I would love to get them on a podcast. Maybe once they're all done with their wedding and all the, honeymoon stuff is over, then maybe I'll have them on a podcast. I think it's interesting that even if I swiped right or left on females that had obvious disabilities on dating apps, even they wouldn't choose me. Um, Honestly, dating someone else with a disability is a whole other aspect of life that is also done very well if both individuals are capable, understanding, and loving. I'm not gonna put them down, but I haven't had the best experience dating females with a disability. Um, I'll just say that. I think from my experience with dating apps, a lot of people are fake when it comes to how they present themselves. Not that they're catfish, because there are genuine people. There are genuine people on these dating sites, but they portray themselves and they're looking for this illusion of a partner. And I think a lot of people don't know what they want when they sign up for these apps. I think dating apps say a lot about our society when it comes to what we want, what we don't want, what we pretend to be, what we actually are. How do we demonstrate that? How do we eliminate that? I can't say I have the answer. I can't say I have the answer to a lot of questions. But that's kind of the whole point of this podcast, is to generate conversation, right? So, I hope I left you guys with something to think about. Maybe I did, maybe I did not. As always, I want to say, if you like this episode, please support us on PayPal, Cash App, or you can, of course, donate directly to the podcast with the link in the description. My blogs come out once a week on Wednesdays, all on the same website. Subscribe to the website, it's in the link in the bio. The book Confessions from Disability Limbo is in the bio as well. Book subscription, podcast subscription, donations. This is not for me to get rich. This is for me to actually produce this content to help you guys think. In closing, I'll say this. I am honestly a very positive person. I'm very happy-go-lucky. But these dating apps, and I'm not a person that lacks confidence anymore, but these dating apps really kind of left me, I guess, down, because, like, people won't even have a conversation with you anymore, which is sad. That's what I'll say in closing. And I want to thank you guys for your support. I want to thank you guys for your love. Let me know what you think. See you guys very soon. Bye. This has been another episode of the Purposely Broken World, part of the Advocacy Life Podcast Network. The Purposely Broken World will air 2 episodes a month. If you like this episode, please consider supporting the podcast by clicking in the link in the description. Every little bit helps. Please follow our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All comments are welcome. Thank you so much for your time. Have a blessed day, and see you very soon.